The tale of Fujiwara no Saditaka's sudden death at the imperial court. Once upon a time, during the reign of Emperor Enyu, a fire broke out in the palace, leading to its temporary relocation to the nearby Shaksh Palace. One evening, at the large banquet table in the palace, numerous court nobles and courtiers, including Fujiwara no Saditaka, the Shikibujo, an official title, were gathered and partaking in food. Suddenly, Saditaka collapsed, his face hitting the table, and he made a choking sound. This scene was quite disturbing. The minister of the right, who was then known as Nariyoshi, noticed this and summoned the shuri, saying, "Such a state is completely unacceptable. Go check on him." The shuri rushed to investigate, and upon seeing the situation, he remarked, "He has indeed died. This is quite shocking. What should be done?" Upon hearing this, the courtiers at the table panicked and scattered in all directions. The minister of the right, realizing the gravity of the situation, said, "This should not happen." He ordered, "Summon the attendants from the Soshi to carry him out." When asked from which side he should be brought out, he responded, "He should come from the eastern side." Upon hearing this, everyone, including the Kori, Takiguchi, and the court women, hurried to the eastern side to catch a glimpse. However, the minister of the right suddenly changed his mind and commanded, "Bring him out from the western side." As a result, those who had gathered to see were left in confusion, as they did not witness the body being carried out. Once outside, Saditaka's father, a man of the third rank, arrived to take his son away. It was remarked, indeed, he was wise to avoid being seen in such a state. The minister of the right had instructed to bring him out from the east initially, but changed to the west in order to prevent others from witnessing the shame of Saditaka's death. About 10 days later, the minister of the right dreamed of Saditaka, who appeared in the dream weeping and saying, "The shame of my death is something that will be hard to forget for generations. If I had been brought out from the west as you initially directed, many would have seen me, and my death would have brought unbearable shame." In the dream, Saditaka appeared to express his gratitude, joyfully clapping his hands. This incident serves as a reminder that one should always act with compassion for others. It seems the minister of the right was a considerate person, hence his urgent decisions. Those who heard this story praised the minister of the right for his actions. Thus, the tale has been passed down. The tale of the governor of Owari and the outcast woman. Once upon a time, there was a man known as the governor of Owari, and he had a woman in his service. This woman was skilled in poetry and had a gentle disposition, which drew the attention of men. Feeling sympathy for her, the governor, who was responsible for various provinces, often sent messages to her. She had 2 or 3 children, but they were all lost, wandering away to distant lands, resembling neither their mother nor the governor. As she aged and became frail, she took vows as a nun, and eventually the governor ceased to inquire about her. In the end, while staying with her elder brother, she faced many hardships. Despite her situation, she was originally a learned person and refrained from disgraceful actions. However, as she endured hardships, bitterness grew within her, and she fell ill. As time passed, her illness deepened, and her demeanor became increasingly unaware of her surroundings. Her brother, thinking, "I will not let her die at home," decided to leave the house. On his way, he believed she would be taken care of, and he went to a place near the clear waters where their old friends used to gather, hoping to find solace. They traveled until they reached Toribeno, where they laid out a clean mat made of high-quality korai grass. As they rested, filled with a profound sense of sadness, they hid in the shadows of the embankment, and she lay down on the mat. Seeing her in this state, a female attendant who had been accompanying them retreated, struck by the sight. It was said among the onlookers, "This is indeed a person of noble origin," yet out of regret, they do not express themselves in writing. Whether she was the wife, sister, or daughter of the governor of Owari remained unclear. Regardless of her relation, it is truly regrettable that she is not inquired after, was what people murmured. Thus the story has been passed down. The tale of the fish-selling woman and the sword-belt warriors. Once upon a time, during the reign of the Emperor of Sanjo, while he resided in the palace of the Crown Prince, there was a woman who sold fish near the sword belt camp. The warriors often bought fish from her, relishing its exquisite taste, making her wares a favored part of their meals. The fish were cut into pieces, dried, and ready for sale. One day, around August, while the warriors went hunting for small hawks in Kitano, the fish seller appeared. Recognizing her, the warriors thought, what might this woman be doing in the wild? They rushed over to see her, and she carried a large basket as well as a long piece of bamboo. Seeing the warriors approach, the woman eyed them warily and began to panic. The attendants of the sword belt warriors wondered what might be in her basket and tried to peek inside. When she refused to show them, they suspiciously pulled it from her grasp and discovered that it contained a snake cut into pieces, about 4 inches long. Curious, they asked, "What is this?" But the woman remained silent, standing defensively. In fact, the woman had been in the bushes, startling the snake, killing it, and bringing it home to salt, dry, and sell. The warriors, unaware of this, continued to buy her fish and eat it without realizing the truth. Reflecting on this, people remarked, "It is said that eating snake is harmful. What if it is indeed poisonous?" They concluded that since there were no signs of the snake remaining, they should refrain from buying the fish she sold in abundance. Thus, the story has been passed down. The tale of the drunken fish-selling woman. Once upon a time in Kyoto, a man was visiting someone he knew. As he dismounted his horse and approached the gate, he noticed an old, closed gate where no one passed through. Beneath that gate lay a fish-selling woman, resting next to a flat bucket filled with goods. Curious about her state, he went closer and saw that she was quite drunk on sake. After observing her, he entered the house. After a while, when he returned and was about to mount his horse again, the woman was startled awake. In her confusion, she accidentally knocked something into her bucket of goods. When he looked closely, he saw that it was a salted sweet fish, kung, that she had dropped in. The woman thought to herself, "How careless," and quickly tried to retrieve the fish from the bucket. Seeing this, he thought, "This is disgusting." His mind and spirit troubled, he hurriedly mounted his horse and rode away from that place. Reflecting on this, he considered that salted sweet fish is naturally an item one might find unappealing, yet there was no need to be so disgusted. Surely, when sold, the fish would not be eaten by anyone. After that, the man avoided eating salted sweet fish for a long time. He resolved not to consume fish sold in such a manner. Even at his home, he refrained from eating salted sweet fish, no matter how well prepared it might be. It wasn't just him, he even shared this experience with acquaintances, advising them, do not eat salted sweet fish. Moreover, wherever they encountered salted sweet fish, they would spit in disgust and flee. Thus, it became known that items sold in markets or by vendors were often quite filthy. Because of this, those who were somewhat discerning would ensure that whatever they consumed was carefully prepared before them. Thus, the story has been passed down. The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter and the Girl He Found. Once upon a time, during the reign of Emperor Askrok, there was an old man who lived by cutting bamboo to make baskets, which he would sell to those in need, earning a living from his work. One day, while cutting bamboo in a grove, he discovered something shining within the bamboo stalks. Inside the joint of a piece of bamboo, there was a tiny figure, about 3 inches tall. Seeing this, the old man thought to himself, I've spent my whole life cutting bamboo, and now I've found this remarkable thing. He gently took the little being in one hand and carried it home with a piece of bamboo in the other. He told his wife, I found this girl in the bamboo grove. The wife was delighted, and they initially placed her in a basket and cared for her. After about 3 months of nurturing her, she had grown into a beautiful child. As the child grew, she became more and more lovely, so much so that the old man and his wife thought she could not possibly be a human from this world. As time passed, the story of the extraordinary child began to spread far and wide. Meanwhile, the old man went back to the grove to gather more bamboo. On this occasion, he found gold hidden within a stalk. He brought it home, and as a result, the couple quickly became wealthy. They built a palace and resided in comfort, surrounded by many servants. Even after having this extraordinary girl, the old man and his wife were filled with joy. During this time, many noblemen and court officials sent messages to the old man asking to borrow the girl. The girl, however, did not seem to hear their requests, and at first she said, "If they can capture the thunder that sounds in the sky, I will meet them." Later she said, "If they can bring the flower called udonge, then I will meet them." Finally, she mentioned, "If they can acquire a drum that beats without being struck, then I will appear." Despite their efforts, none of the suitors managed to meet her. This intrigued the nobility, and many became obsessed with finding her. Some abandoned their homes to search the mountains, and others lost their lives in pursuit. During this time, the emperor heard of the girl's beauty and remarked, "I have heard that this girl is unlike any other. I must go see her for myself." So he gathered his ministers and officials and visited the old man's home. Upon arriving, he saw that the house was indeed extraordinary, resembling a royal palace. When he called for the girl, she came forth immediately. The emperor, upon seeing her, recognized that her beauty was beyond compare and thought, "I must make her my empress." He expressed his desire, but the girl responded, "While I would feel boundless joy at becoming empress, I am not truly human." The emperor asked, "Then what are you? A spirit or a demon?" The girl replied, "I am neither a spirit nor a demon. I am simply waiting for someone to come from the heavens to take me away." Upon hearing this, the emperor thought, "What is this strange talk? There is no one who will come to take her away." As they conversed, suddenly, a multitude of people descended from the sky carrying a palanquin and lifted her up, ascending into the air. Their appearances were unlike any humans he had ever seen. At that moment, the emperor thought to himself, "This girl is truly not of this world," and he returned to his palace. After that, he frequently thought of her beauty and grace, but he could never see her again. No one ever discovered who she truly was, and many wondered about her origins. This tale became a remarkable story that was passed down through the generations.